and in walks Naomi Campbell. But I remember Ebro calling me fat.
Dominique, let me ask you a question. Did you rehearse this in the last 3 months?
Yes.
So that's the best you could get it. Let's get the next group out.
Something about you that really got me feeling weak.
Yeah, that was real good. That gave me goosebumps, see?
When I didn't make that damn band and I had to stand there on national television.
Everybody checking for me, so I ain't got no choice but to prove that I ain't gonna fold under pressure. I'm just doing what I do. This is for everybody pulling for me. I'm a make a believer to you.
Hi, you might remember me from Making the Band 3 Season 2. My people, my people, my people. Ooh, I miss y'all so much. Welcome to Storytelling with Dominique Renee, where I am fresh off the Cowboy Carter tour and I don't know how to act, okay? I'm also telling my story and loving every minute of it. Y'all, I don't know why, but it feels like it's been 2 years and it's literally been like two weeks. There is so much going on, but so much fun stuff. Like I said, just came off the Cowboy Carter tour. I'm saying it like I was performing. I wasn't up there with Rumi and Blue and B. I was just in the audience, and it was a time just like when I went to Renaissance, and it was a time. Oh my gosh. But we got so much to cover that I can't even spend as much time on B as I want to, but I do feel like this hat, this cowgirl hat, I feel like it's giving me like superpowers, and I feel like I could wear it every day for the rest of my life. I know that I can't, but this is what you're getting on this evening because I'm still high off the tour. Like I got to catch another date. Anyway, so much to catch y'all up on, okay? One, we got to pick up where we left off in terms of what was going on at the end of filming Making the Band. I'm so excited to get into that tonight. Y'all been distracting me though from getting back to storytelling because we've been over on the lives having so much fun. If you have not seen what's been going on, basically I was tasked by the Making the Band fans to give reactions and reviews to the Danity Kane albums, and we are 2 albums in, and I can't even tell you the energy that's going on these lives. We just having fun. You got to be there. If you haven't seen it, you need to get on over there and catch up, okay? Because I got DK3 coming up next soon. I'll give y'all a date soon. But we're just having so much fun. But I had to get back to, come on, this is us. This is where we started, storytelling, and I got stories to tell. So in addition to live streaming, I've been catching up with some folks, and I ain't just talking about cast members. I have recently reconnected with one of the producers of Making the Band. Now, because I have some tea to spill, nothing crazy, so don't get excited. It ain't nothing to do with the craziness going on today, okay? But I was able to like get some data that I feel the real Making the Band fans will be all the way into. But I promised I would not be naming who the producer is because, you know, don't nobody, it ain't that kind of thing. I remember telling y'all that I knew, but I didn't have the proof, that our season was literally the most popular season in the Making the Band series. And that has essentially now been confirmed by this producer that I spoke to. I literally got the numbers for y'all. I found out that our season, I'm talking about Making the Band 3, Season 2, broke records. The finale of our show at that time got 4.7 million viewers, which was a record that we held and still hold for the entire Making the Band series. The highest viewed season finale of all the Making the Band seasons. So yeah, when I had said we was popular, I wasn't dragging it. Okay, that's what really happened. I found out that season 1, so Making the Band 3 season 1, which is where Malika, Andrea, and Aubrey came from into our season, had about 3.2 million viewers. I didn't get the data on the other ones because they ain't get the 4.7. Okay, we were doing what they called Jersey Shore numbers at that time, and we broke a record in that moment when we had that finale. And hello, that's why 20 years later, you sitting here with me, because it was a seriously big moment in culture. And in light of everything happening right now, it's important to focus on the positive parts of things, because there's so much nastiness and negativity and trauma and sadness that is surrounding some of the folks who are connected to this show. And I'm not even just talking about Diddy, right? So it was just such a cute moment to be able to catch up with them, this producer, and just learn that even they felt the energy that was brought in our season. It was something special. It was something special, and I think that's why we're here, doing what we're doing, because that was a time. And I'm about to get into how we wrapped up that time. So I believe the last thing I talked about was essentially Diddy being like, y'all go home. We ain't gonna tell you who's in the band, come back and we'll do our thing. Now, we were gone for 3 months. If you want to know what happened in those 3 months, you got to go back to Storytelling with Dominique Renee and catch a previous episode, okay? Go on and catch up. Y'all hear how I'm throwing on a little accent? It's the hat. It's the hat. I'm a Bronx girl, but Beyonce does a thing to me. Anyway, okay, we got to get into it. So, come back to New York. And what is the first thing that happens? We get reunited.
We're back. I'm so excited to see all the girls. It's been 3 long months. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Hello. Everyone is gorgeous. You can just tell the confidence is up. We are here on a mission, and everyone wants to make the band.
We get reunited. We've been apart for 3 months. And I told y'all this experience really formed bonds in such a short time, I think because of how grueling it was, that were real, that were lasting, where we saw each other and we actually missed each other. So I remember us getting back together and just being so excited to be back in the same space, to catch up, to be like, oh my gosh, we're here. And for me, I can't speak for everybody else, but I know that, yes, I wanted to make the band. Y'all know I ain't gonna front about it. But I remember this really giddy, positive togetherness that was felt in that final week together, even though we were in a position where 5 out of the 11 of us were going to be chosen to be in a band, and 6 out of the 11 of us were going to go home. I feel like they did some stuff behind the scenes to make sure, once everybody's together, we got to keep them separated off camera so that they can have their moment. It's reality TV, so there's got to be a TV moment. And we were just through the roof, so excited to see each other and catch up, and that's what we did. So much happened in that last week. It was a cram. If we crammed a ton of stuff into those 2 or 3 months where we filmed over the summer, the final week was chaotic. I think in the last couple of episodes of Storytelling, I talked about the energy shifting as we dwindled down to finalists. It felt like the energy was getting a little more positive, not just between the girls, I mean production, our mentors, etc., etc. And this final week was that times 50, right? We saw Diddy more, of course, in that final week than we did probably in the entire filming of the season. It's giving y'all the girls, y'all the ones, y'all are the ones who made it here. You work so hard. We want you to feel good about your experience, even if you don't make the band. That's the sense that I got throughout that entire week. And so I wouldn't call it spoiling, because it wasn't. Don't forget, we got paid $100 a week. But we were definitely treated differently. And I think the energy I got from mentors, I'm speaking about Andre Harrell, Lorianne, Doc Holliday, Johnny Wright, and of course Diddy, was this sentimental, we want to help y'all along. We want to see who, what can happen in these last couple of moments to help us make this decision. Now, I'm going to pause to say this. Since I started this show and have done interviews with other castmates and have heard, frankly, from you all, like the real fans of the show, I have learned that there is a theory with some good data backing it that a lot of the spots for this band were already accounted for before this last moment. And I think I'm going to spend some time talking about that at some point, but for this moment, it's important to focus on and continue to try to step back into 20-year-old Dominique and what was happening in that moment for me, not having any outside information or clues about what was and what wasn't, because that will give you the most genuine, honest, and authentic perspective from what was happening for me at that time. So I just wanted to put that out there, because I know we've been talking about that in the comments, but in this moment, when I got back there, I fully believed that I had an opportunity to be in this band. I was, what I've been saying, invested and feeling like I had worked really hard to get to this point. So I was hoping at the end of the week, they would be calling my name. So one of the first things we did, which was so much fun, was a photo shoot. And this is what I mean when I say a little bit of special treatment. They got us in a space, and they did our makeup, and I told you we had to do most of those things throughout the season for ourselves. Outside of confessionals, we dressed it ourselves, we doing our own makeup, etc., etc. And so they were getting us together, they were glamming us up and teaching us about this aspect. A lot of what they were trying to focus on in the final week was like, look, when you're in the industry, this is what it's gonna be, and this is how you have to show up in this space or that space. We're doing a photo shoot, they're talking us through the looks, and in walks the incomparable, undeniably beautiful, legendary Naomi Campbell.
How are you today? When Charlie Murphy is talking about Rick James, that aura that's orange, she just has an aura, but I can't give it a color.
I had to call one of the greatest picture takers of all time, Naomi Campbell. Give her a round of applause, man. She's going to give y'all a little bit of insight on what y'all doing wrong and try to give y'all some guidance. That's the thing about this. There's been a lot of cutting asses. This week is about nurturing y'all and seeing who can take the criticisms and could grow.
Okay, we were gagged. We did not know how to act. I feel like mouths dropped open. We were fanning out. We were so excited because she is a black queen. She is a legend. And hello, photo shoot, Naomi Campbell, yes. So Diddy kind of introduced her as his sister and was like, this is my people, and she's gonna help y'all. So she wasn't just brought in to say hello. He's like, she is the queen of this stuff. She is going to show you guys and give you direction on what it looks like to do a photo shoot, to, be camera ready, etc. And it was just so cute. Like, I remember talking about her having an aura. She just had this really beautiful energy. She treated us really, really nicely. She went through every single girl individually as we were taking photos and was literally touching our faces, giving us like, put your head up this way, and like really giving us tips. And so that I remember that as just a positive experience. Like, it feels like, oh my gosh, like we're right there at the door, and now we're interacting with folks who are genuinely in this space, and it's feeling good. Kind of on a high from that. And I feel like what happened next was us getting intimate, the girls. And I mean, one, we've been away from each other for 3 months. We've missed a lot, right? Everybody had so many things going on that we got the time to really talk about what's happening with everybody coming back into this moment. And I think it was unfortunate that they didn't show a lot of that, but we were locked in that last week. We were locked in because life was lifing. I told y'all, I did not tell Diddy, which we'll get into in a second, that my family was homeless, that I had to go back to college, that I was hustling and bustling, all those things. We get back together and you learn that's not necessarily the same story as others, but people been going through it. One of the things that I think devastated and locked us in even more in terms of our togetherness was learning that Dawn had just gone through Hurricane Katrina.
It was such a large storm, such an immense storm. The water began to overtop the walls and scoured away at the backside of the walls, which weakened the walls even more.
So that year, if I'm getting it right, I think Hurricane Katrina happened in September. We are now back together in December. I think this is all throughout the entire season. I have fallen in love with Dawn in terms of her energy and friendship very early on because of the kind of human that she showed up as. But this moment, to see her show up in the way that she did, ready to go, and then to hear and learn of everything her family went through as a result of Katrina. Nah. And it's not my story to tell in terms of like getting into the nitty gritty, because there was some nitty gritty. There was a lot. But I remember us giving the clothes out of our suitcases like the girl had nothing. That I can say, right? Like, because we saw the devastation of Katrina, we saw what it did to the entire, right? That entire community, that entire city. That bonded us. Stuff like that was like, wait a minute. This is our girl. And she's been through the ringer. And that ties back to me saying, yes, we all wanted to make the band, but the level of bond and togetherness and intimacy that I felt, and not necessarily with everybody, but I think collectively, everyone in that space had someone they felt like, y'all, we here. And Dawn was absolutely one of those folks. And I think she became that for a lot of folks, especially in that moment, because to show up in the way that she showed up, despite everything she was going through, absolutely insane. Anyway, so I'm talking about the fact that we had these moments that I wish they had shown, but whatever. The bottom line is we bonded. Next thing you know, we are brought to Daddy's house, which is the name of Diddy's like recording, his like studio thing. And they like put us in the hallway outside of the room where we would normally meet with him and the folks, and bring us in individually to have one-on-one sessions with us and find out what we've been doing over the 3 months.
Has your dancing gotten better?
I hope so. I mean, I just been doing the best that I can do.
So you feel like you did everything you could have done in the last 3 months? You did everything you could have done?
That's a good question. I mean, I feel like I did.
You know what kind of group we putting together. You know that you had to do the most work on the dancing side.
I actually rehearsed a lot of the routines when I was home. I just feel like I'm going to have to give it 150% and pray that that is enough.
And I lied. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't know Diddy like that. And I was already managing my own feelings about what I was really going through in life. And I'll add that I didn't have a reason to think that Diddy or Lorian or any of them were going to care about the nitty gritty that I was facing when I talked about to y'all homelessness and, college and this is so hard and that ain't really that they business in terms of like something that they are tasked with caring about, because they came to find they 5 girls and that's it. So when I was put on the spot and asked about what I did over that time, Diddy's focus was dance. He went right to it. Girl, you know you can't dance. What's up? Like, did you practice? And I said I lied, but I didn't lie. I think that I just overhyped what I did, because the truth of the matter is I didn't have a lot of time to focus on dancing. I was working, helping take care of my family, trying to stay in school and keep my grades up. And that's already a lot. I made it seem like I was out here dancing every single day, breaking my neck, getting the lessons. And frankly, I wasn't. I didn't have the capacity to do that in the way that I'm sure they would have liked me to do, in a way that may have ended up helping me in the end, because life was, like I said, lifing. So that was a little bit of a moment, because I feel like Diddy set the stage for like, yeah, missed y'all. Hope y'all glad to be back. And I'm picking a band. And don't forget that you were the weakest link when it came to dancing. So it kind of straightened me up and pulled me out of La La Land. I'm a Pisces, y'all. I love La La Land. So I feel like that pulled me out of like, okay, cute, fun. It's still a competition. And girl, is it going to happen when it comes to this dancing? Cool. Everybody is on edge about the fact that they had to meet with Diddy and kind of get grilled about their different weaknesses, what they were able to do to address those things. From there, I felt like the ball kept rolling in terms of them just giving us experiences that were meant to prepare us for life in an international supergroup. We had the photo shoot. Next came the radio. Let's talk about the radio. So Diddy comes to us and is basically like, it's so cutthroat out there. You go and you interact with people. You got to sell yourself in all of these spaces. And so I'm taking you guys to the radio station to Miss Jones. So I'm a New York City girl. Used to listen to Hot 97 back in the day. And at this time, it is Miss Jones on the radio. So if y'all don't know who Miss Jones is, you gotta get it together. But I'm a music girl. And so the first memory I'll say of Miss Jones was when I was, I don't even know if I was in double digits when she came out with Where I Wanna Be Boy. That song was on the Sugar Hill soundtrack? Dang. Anyway. Miss Jones in the morning. So she was a radio personality, but I knew her as a singer from way before that. I think it was called like Jonesy in the Morning or something. Ebro, DJ Envy, and I don't remember who else at that time. It don't matter. It was very evident when we went into this interview that Diddy had given an assignment to go very, 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 very hard on us. He said ahead of time that, like, I want y'all to know people gonna have stuff to say and people gonna grill you and people gonna this, that, and the third, and see how you manage it. And they was OD. Like, in 2025, they might have got canceled. Like, how y'all be canceling left and right now, But this was a different time. I don't remember everything about my conversation with them, but I remember Ebro calling me fat, or basically being like, oh, you used to be fat. Like, very quick, aggressive, you know? And man, was I proud of myself, because let's not forget I'm from Highbridge. And I don't say that to say I was about to like get crazy, but really my mouth, especially at age 20, was off the chain. And my level of defensiveness, especially around something like this, where I never felt like the fat girl, but that was how it was played up on TV, was high. And so to have that be the thing was like, oh, okay. Okay. So this is not, this is not going to be about music. And like, they were going in. I mean, making fun of, I want to say Dinash's age, calling her old. They made fun of Taquita's name.
Today we're going on the show, and we expect the worst.
So Dominique, you used to be fat.
But I don't even think that we expect it to be as bad as it really is.
Is it Taquita or Taquita?
Taquita. Hey, how you doing, everybody?
What's up? It says you're fun, happy, but you're named after a Taco Bell meal. Taco Bell. You do anything about that? I'm having forehead issues. Yeah, you could film a movie on that forehead. Learn trying to revenge. Which forehead are we feeling more? Let me see.
I think I'm feeling your head. I do. Y'all some haters.
Nah.
Some haters.
What is that material?
It's like a
Curtain. Now you're like 42. Wait, no, 29 years old.
No, you got jokes, huh?
So you've been around this industry a long time. It says you are a backup dancer for everyone. Run down the list.
Yeah.
I've worked for Mariah Carey. I've worked for Jay.
Get out. She said, Mariah, get out.
It's over.
And then they got with Dawn. And I think I mentioned a second ago that we were like literally probably giving her clothes out of our suitcases. I want to say they started to make fun of her outfit. And this girl, like, I thought I handled my little moment where he said, oh, you used to be that. Well, with the utmost grace, with such kindness, she's just like, yeah, I just went through Hurricane Katrina. And so much so that I don't want to say they broke character, because it's not like they weren't showing up as themselves, but I feel like it was evident that Diddy said, go hard. All that stopped when she said that. And they literally just showered her with compliments, because they're like all of us. They're like you and me right now. Like, wait a minute, you went through all of that and you just here with a smile on your face, like not complaining and doing your thing. I feel like they just clapped for her and like we're like, okay, shut them up.
Good morning, Dawn.
Hi, it's nice to meet you, New York.
Stand up. What are you wearing?
Actually, because I was in the hurricane for New Orleans.
Wow.
Yeah, I have nothing.
Wow.
On our break, when Diddy sent us home, the Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans. Unfortunately, my family and I, we lost everything.
Your spirit is so alive. We would never guess that you just went through the hurricane.
We're alive. Hey, it was bad, so I have my family, so it's all good.
I admire your strength, because I would be...
It's hard because it's this competition, plus worry about home. If I don't make it, then what?
And you're wearing a smile, and your spirit is still...
But you got to, though, if you don't, then you're just dwelling,
That's maturity right there. Dawn, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
And keep your head up.
Oh, I'm trying every day. I don't know how to explain it. We never expected it, and I still feel for the people who are still there and who don't have their families. I have people like these girls here who reach out to me. I can't be upset because I have this to look forward to, the band to look forward to.
Her spirit is so, I like that. And that group, that band, whoever he picks, they're going to need that energy.
I told y'all the things were happening. The things were happening. So we had a photo shoot. We did the radio. All of these things were intense. And frankly, I think that we all at that point had handled all of those things really well. But you can't forget about the talent. So they threw us back in the dance studio. And we're like, let's see if you remember every single routine we taught you throughout the whole season. So I was in trouble. Whew, I was in trouble. Oh my gosh. And mind you, the veteran dancers, the girls who danced down were like, all the routines, everybody was shook by it. So imagine me, the non-dancer, being like, wait, what? I was like, okay. And Diddy showed up. And I got called out because, hello, the thing is still the thing. Even with practice, I ain't gonna be better than, all these other girls who are, most of them, amazing dancers.
Dominique, let me ask you a question. Did you rehearse this in the last 3 months?
Yes.
So that's the best you could get it. Let's get the next group out.
Let's switch to milkshakes.
I struggled, as I had historically, with the dance moves, and Diddy's like, I see you. See you it up. I'm back in a space of being super tense, getting super nervous, allowing my emotions to take over in terms of like, I want this so bad. My struggles are still my struggles, but I also feel like I'm so talented. What's gonna happen? That was what it felt like. And so then they start really zoning in. They start calling girls who struggle with singing into the studio, into meetings to be like, sing. There was no more hiding. There are only 11 of us left, y'all. I can't dance in the back because that's what got that girl cut on the very first day. I can't hide it. The girls who may be struggling with their voices, you can't hide it when it's only 11 girls left. And so they are meeting with folks and being like, I'm putting you on the spot. I want to know if you've improved or not. So Lorianne calls Kelly and me. Shout out to Kelly. I don't know if y'all saw that interview, but if you haven't, get on back. And she has a little session with us. And honestly, y'all know Lorianne was ragging on me. But I remember this meeting feeling different because it felt like she was really trying to help us. And I don't want to say that throughout the season that wasn't the case, but it felt like, come on, y'all, we got to pull it together.
So tonight, Kelly and I are going to see Lorianne because Diddy has asked her to help us with our dancing and just give us some extra time.
Seriously, like, if I had to choose today, you guys have to give it your all because it's like right now, right here, this is it. Okay? 5, 6, 7, 8. Boom, cat. A boom, boom, cat. Cat. Live. So from the live, Dominique. From the live. Boom, left, right. From the left. Boom, left, right. From the left. Boom, left, right. Pick up your left, pumpkin. Boom, left, right. Did you pick up your left? All right, here we go with a little music.
And that was a hard moment because Kelly was shining. I ain't gonna lie. I was struggling, especially with the old routines, remembering them joints and staying up. I was trying my best, and Lorianne was like, doing what she could to help us in that moment. But Kelly got a compliment. Like, Kelly had stepped it up. And this really did a thing for me because when you sitting back and doing the math, I had already told y'all that Diddy said to me, to us, when there were 3 or 4 struggling dancers, I'm picking from this group of struggling dancers. There's one person I'm willing to help figure out dancing, not more than one. So of all of the girls that were left, Kelly and I were really the only 2 left who struggled in that area. And so now I'm in a session with Kelly and Lorianne, and Lorianne's like, go Kelly, I see you. And I'm like,
I feel like I'm losing you right now. Am I losing you?
No,
Am I losing you? It's okay if I'm losing you.
I'm just like, I struggle, like, it's hard, and I want it so bad. I just feel like after last night, you guys don't see how hard I worked, and I understand that. Like,
It is hard work. What can I tell you? Except that's a reality.
I literally started crying because I'm like, damn, dog, like, okay? They didn't just do it. They didn't just do it for the dancing, though. Eventually, Puff brings us together and starts what I call the mix and match. They had us in a studio and put us together to do my favorite song. Oh, yes, it's in my body. It was so mean to get started. So, first of all, I'm so glad that they chose that song because I had already told y'all it was the better song of the 2, okay? And the group that did that ended up winning the challenge to open up for Backstreet Boys. So they have all of us waiting outside, and they are literally bringing in 5 girls at a time and switching us in and out. Like, okay, Dominique, you singing the lead. All right, now you get out. Andrea, come in. And just keep going. Everybody keep going. You in the back, swap with her. Now you sing. It was so intense, and everybody was singing for their lives. We couldn't do the actual routine because, of course, only 6 of us had learned that routine. But, people are jamming. People are trying to keep their harmonies together in the back. It was just very, very, very intense. They had a moment of like deliberating and talking about us, which, of course, we didn't get to, be a part of. We didn't know what they were saying.
Count on her. I think BX's voice is incredible. I think that I see a lot of improvement in her.
But I remember everybody being like, ooh, because again, we in it together and we're locking arms and holding hands and being like, oh my God, I want this for me and you. But then they do things like this and you're like, but I gotta step it up, The last week was so intense. Then the studio. Okay, so I talked to y'all in a previous episode about how my experience doing the song Touching My Body, recording in the studio for the first time ever, we were with Adonis, was life-changing, made me be like, oh my gosh, I could really do this. I love this. It's so much fun. And I appreciate the guidance of, like being in the studio, having someone work you through putting a song together. So Diddy brings us in the studio with Miss Sherry Dennis. Oh my gosh. I don't think they actually showed our interactions with Sherry, but she was there helping us. I'm going to give the credit. And it's so interesting. They didn't really show the stuff about Sherry, but meeting, and it wasn't our first time meeting her, but we got to be in the studio. She was kind of giving us a little bit of guidance, but we were talking. And I learned some things from Sherry Dennis in that day, in that studio, about how the industry functions that really changed my life, that helped me when the time came, when there were deals on the table, when things happened way after making the band. Some of the knowledge that Sherry had dropped in that studio session about what it means to be signed and about how long she had been signed, I think, to Bad Boy at that time in 2005 for almost a decade, okay? And this is before you guys knew who she was. Learning that, learning all the amazing things she had been doing behind the scenes at Bad Boys when people like me had no idea who she was like, okay, wait a minute. I want to make this band. I signed my life away coming onto this reality show. Let's not forget I'm only 20 years old. But then little things like the conversations with Sherry that day in the studio help you to be like, wait, let me gain a little perspective here and really start to understand what it is that I'm pursuing. And that was only one conversation. It didn't end up, I had a lot more to learn before I got to where I got to. But I was very, very grateful for that conversation. And really, in hindsight, when some other stuff happened that I'm gonna talk to y'all about at another time, in hindsight, I was like, wow, thank God for Sherry Dennis sharing her story and enlightening us. I don't remember which of the girls were also a part of that conversation, but again, shout out to Sherry Dennis. We ended up hanging a little bit after that show. She's really, really a great girl, and the talent is limitless. So he puts out this track and has everybody go in and sing a part of the song. And I had another moment where I was able to shine in his eyes. So I sing my little part, and we have no idea at this moment that this is going to be a Billboard charting song with him and Christina Aguilera. But we go in and we're singing, I like it, I know. So I have my little moment. I sing, and Diddy stops everything and is like, yeah, girl, like you got it. Give me goosebumps.
There's something about you that really got me feeling weak.
Yeah, that was real good. It gave me goosebumps, see? When you sing like that, it give you goosebumps. In the music industry, it's called a goosebump factor. And only superstars know about that.
And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm going through the roller coaster, y'all, because I'm having these moments where I feel like I'm a real contender. I got talent. Diddy talking about my singing. But also Diddy talking about my dancing. He ain't happy in that arena. Whew. I remember, I feel like millions and millions and millions of emotions at that time. Y'all, my nerves shot the whole week. It was really, really a beautiful time. It was a beautiful time. Yes, I was on a roller coaster. Yes, I was nervous. Yes, I'm like, oh my gosh, am I going to make the band? But having that roller coaster experience alongside 10 other women going through the same thing who you had been going through this entire process with, it was beautiful. It was really, really beautiful. And we ended up getting the opportunity to have a dinner. I want to say it was a dinner. And they, set us up, and we got to it was like a last supper. I ain't gonna get too religious on y'all. But it was a moment for us to share gratitude for each other, to talk through some of our experiences, to wish each other well, because we were not going to be together. We weren't going to be a band of 11, after that next couple days. And I remember tears flowing. Baby, we were we were so emotional. We had been through a lot together. Now, little do we know they're doing the same thing. The mentors are getting together and hashing it out and arguing with each other about who is going to be in this band. But we don't know that. We are just in our little bubble of like, oh my gosh, we've really done this thing.
Great talent.
She's a star. Whether she makes this group or not, she's going to be a star.
Oh, yeah, that's no question about that. This is a no-brainer for me.
Quita.
Come a long ways. Got a heart of a lion. She's a fighter.
She still needs to figure out who she wants to be.
Dawn is my favorite.
Dawn can dance really well, and she has a great voice, and she blends harmoniously very well with the girls. Jasmine.
She's got a great image, but
Not happening. Not happening. She can't sing in harmony.
She doesn't realize that it's okay to be the superstar that she believes herself to be, so you might not feel her fire.
Kelly?
She's got a lot of talent creatively, but she doesn't bring the power that I like.
I honestly have to tell you, she could not dance at all. She said she went away and she danced. I had a remedial with her and I was impressed. Dominique, fantastic voice, which we all know. There is no way, in my opinion, that she's ready dance-wise to be in this group.
She's a star. Danash.
she's always been a person that I thought could make this band.
You were saying you would put her in the band?
Yep.
You would put Danash in the band?
I wouldn't put her in my band.
I would put her in my band. She knows how to do everything. She's like an in-house, teach the group how to dance, sing when you're not there. I like Danash better than YD.
It felt really clear that there was going to be a band. You know, I wasn't a part of that first season, so I don't know what that was like, and I didn't even watch it. I know, y'all, I'm going to go back and watch it. But there was no confusion. The talent was there. The energy buildup in terms of fans, the fan base, y'all, the people were watching. Okay. Another thing I learned from the producer I had spoken to was that I don't remember what the term was that they used, but like, we were not this solidified show. Our episodes aired on different days of the week sometimes. Sometimes it would skip 2 weeks. And one of the unique things about our season is that our audience moved with us. If we had 3 million viewers Tuesday and the show aired the following Thursday, all 3 million showed up on that Thursday, which was also, that told them something. This is something people are getting behind. They want a band. They are invested. Just like they are invested. The fans are invested. So there was absolutely going to be a band. We knew this was some of our final moments together, and it was an emotional time. Then it was time to do the things. They got us glammed. That last day, they did tell us ahead of time what was going to happen. You know, we're going to get y'all together. I don't know if we were on the top of MTV Studios, whatever's in Times Square. We were on a rooftop in Times Square. But they did real glam for the last moment of the show where the band was chosen. They brought in real hair stylists, real makeup artists, and clothing stylists for the first time. So this is our first time having that. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Alex for putting me in that green. Oh my gosh, the way I was obsessed with my look, they gave me a new little weave. I was swinging that thing. This is back in the sewing days. We talk about, it's a different time. It's a different time. The makeup was makeuping, and I don't remember if Morel did our makeup for the last day. Morel, shout out to Morel, doing amazing things, okay? Amazing things, like Mary J. Blige makeup, stuff like that. Anyway, I don't remember if Morel did the last episode, but he did a lot. He did like makeup for a lot of our confessionals. But Alex came in, and that man put me in that olive green short set. Whew. Had a girl feeling good. Had a girl feeling good. Had a girl feeling like, look, if I'ma make the band, I gotta look like I'ma make the band. And I was feeling myself. I was like, oh, is this what happens when you're in the band? You get a stylist and a makeup artist and a hair person. Like, I remember being very giddy about that. And not knowing what was coming next, I do remember feeling so glammed and good about myself and how I was presenting in that last moment. And I needed all of that because the nerves was pounding through my chest, okay? They bring us out and there's a crowd. You know, they have folks already up there on the rooftop ready for this show. And Diddy gives his spiel and is like, look, it's been 3 years, something like, you know, trying to get to this point, and we are making a band. And in that moment, man, I'm trying to remember everything I was feeling. I was super nervous. It felt like there was so much on the line, right? Remember, this is 20-year-old Dominique. This is not 40-year-old Dominique who knows that they ain't make no money, who knows, you know, where Diddy is today. This is 20-year-old Dominique who is like thinking that this could change everything, not just for my life, but also for my family. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, all you want to do is hear your name. It takes you back to that, you know, first episode where my name was the last name called to go in the house. You know, you're just like, oh. And I do also remember feeling happy for the other girl. Like, you know, just like I want us all to win. That's not realistic, but I want us all to win. And so we were there, it felt like in kind of solidarity with each other. And then Diddy started calling names. And what was the order? I don't remember the order. I don't want to lie. I do remember that after the fourth name, I knew I wasn't going to make the band. Because he hadn't called Andrea yet. And the way I talked a few episodes ago about knowing that Aubrey was going to make the band, maybe I didn't have as much conviction, but yes, it made sense for Andrea to be in the band. Coming from the first season and being as ridiculously talented as she was, there was no question for me about Andrea. So if I'm remembering correctly, she was the last name called. And so when you got to the fourth name and Andrea was left, you go through this like, oh, damn, you know, am I going to have that pull out moment where my name gets called last? Probably not, but you can't stop hoping until the moment is over, if that makes sense. And of course, Diddy did not call my name. I did not make the band. And I do remember the second he called that last name, the second he called Andrea's name, y'all, vulnerability and my emotions are a part of my superpowers. I didn't know that when I was 20, right? I just was this emotional girl. The fight to keep it together. We were still on camera. We had to stick around for the performance. That was hard. I felt excited for these girls, but y'all, we keep it real here. The Storytelling with Dominique Renee is about giving you the real me. I wasn't thinking about them damn girls in that moment. It was just my own devastation. I wasn't thinking about any of the other girls who didn't make the band. And if they were cool, I was in my own personal moment of complete devastation. No matter how realistic it was, like, oh, you couldn't dance, you could sing, like there was never really a chance. You don't know. All of that aside, you worked so hard, you came here for a thing, and then you didn't get it. Okay? That could be anybody in any circumstance, right? You didn't win the game. You didn't win the championship. You didn't make the team. Those things come with real feelings and real emotions. And baby, I was devastated and working harder than life to keep my face together. I feel like, and I might be lying, but I think a tear dropped that I had to like smack dab to like, I had to have a face. I had to do a thing because this ain't, the moment is not about me at all. Hello, I didn't make the band. So the moment is now about these 5 women who worked just as hard as I did and made the band, but I ain't thinking about them. I ain't. I'm kind of mad they singing what I feel like is my songs. I'm like, you hyperventilating, but trying not to show it. You just, I know, hugging. Yeah. That was it. That was it, y'all. That was it. That was y'all. Yo. And I've been through a lot in my life. That moment, that second, when I didn't make that damn band and I had to stand there on national television. One of the toughest things. And keep a poker face on. That's what I mean. Stand there on national television and keep a poker face on. Bro, hard. But I'm still here. So clearly I survived. Okay? We eventually get whisked away. And that ain't the end of the story by a long shot, okay? But you gotta come back next week if you want to know more. And I know you do. Because you're having as much fun as I'm having, which is why if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead, like it, subscribe. This is your chance. Get in with us. Because we locked in. We locked into this Storytelling with Dominique Renee thing. Why? Because ain't no story like a Dominique Renee story. Y'all know it. Now let me get back to this life. Let me see if I can get another set of tickets to go on and see my girl, take care of my kids, my family, my husband. Let me stop. Yo, the fake accent is crazy. Peace, y'all.
Yeah. Yes. We have finally made a band, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Your new superstar group. I'm going to announce to you the 5 young ladies that's going to run with me, rock with me all over the world. Are you ready? Ladies, come meet me on the stage. It had to do with chemistry, had to do with voices, how people flow together, perform together. There's a lot of reasons. So do not be hard on yourself if I do not call your name. You have a lot of talent, and I think these are some of the most talented young ladies that are out there that I've seen that are newcomers. And I just wish y'all the best of luck, and God bless y'all. Let me get one last look. One last look. Who have I chosen for the band? The first member of the band is Aubrey. Yeah, come to Daddy, baby. Come to Daddy, baby. We're gonna take over the world. Yeah. The second member of the group, your group, Juanita. From the Daddy, give Daddy some love. Give me some love, baby. Yeah. You're welcome. Yeah. Third member of the band is Shannon. Yeah. Welcome to Bad Boy. Get up for Shannon, y'all. Okay. Now the fourth member of the band is Dawn. Yeah. This is it right here. It's one more. To make the group complete, the last member of the group Andrea. Yeah. Give a round of applause to the band, y'all. Yeah. Bad Boy, baby. Yeah.